Now we're going to take a look at the bolt design. On the top here we have the bolt from the 71-84, and we have the bolt from the 88 commission rifle. You can notice they say in the book that a modified, upgraded version of this bolt was used for the 88. And as you can see, it does look similar. This locking piece here, where this part of the bolt body is the locking lug, you can actually see the wear on it where it locks here in the corner. That was removed. The safeties, which is a simple two-position safety, fire and all the way over. There's no middle position like on the Mausers. That was retained. And you can see the similarity on these. And also the back of the bolt. Now the only difference is the very original ones were round like this, without this little flange. This was a immediate modification because new cartridges and that primers would puncture and you'd get blowback into the eye of the shooter. So they upgraded this and put this little flange here along, other than this round part, to protect the shooter from having an eye injury. So that I've only seen a photograph of one example with the older style bolt nut here without the flange. All the ones I see, that was that was the one modification. Now this also, as you see on the older designs, they all had a separate bolt head to the bolt body. And that was the way the black powder designs were, all the guns. And even the French 1886 Lebel had a separate bolt head that was attached to this. And a lot of your older black powder guns did. And this here, on the older model, this is the ejector. The Model 71 didn't have this. This was added on. And when you manipulate the bolt, I think it hits something, and this will pop up and kick the case out, clear of the gun. Where they combine the bolt stop and the little tab in there hits this piece, goes into this groove, and that first part of that bolt stop hits this piece, and you can see it'll eject. When you pull it all the way back, it'll eject. There's your extractor. It'll throw the case clear from the gun. Now there's some confusion. There's two types of bolts, and there's some confusion. Now, all the ones I've ever seen in the later models had this round face. Now I have two earlier models that have a different bolt head face on there, more open. Now in the book by Scarletta, he said there was a problem where if you didn't close the bolt all the way, you could have a cartridge in the chamber and double feed, and then a cartridge in the chamber would explode and it caused injuries. So he said they made this other style bolt as a design change to overcome that flaw. And I don't know, I've only found these on two of my earliest examples. He said they did this for a while, then went back to the original, which was this. But I don't know if this was the older design and this is the new design. I'm not sure, but you will run across two different types of bolt heads. And there it is, the open and then the closed, completely closed face. And they're a little bit different. And also, this bolt it's a throwback to the old, when it locks into the gun, like this, there's your two locking lugs in that, and this bolt head is removable. You can just pop that right out of there. Okay, which by the time, within a few years, they realized that a bolt made out of one piece without a removable head, that was a throwback to the earlier designs, that a bolt without a removable head with the lugs machined from one piece of the bolt was much stronger and more desirable for smokeless powder rounds. The Carcano has one-piece bolt, and there's our big groove where that thing sticks up and kicks out the case, so it doesn't have a button or release on the side. It's a Carcano bolt. It's a little bit different, but that was 1891 design. Now the Nagant kept a detachable bolt head, which is a separate piece, and it uses the, when this is closed and then when it's drawn back, the ejector interrupter rides in this slot here, and that kicks out the case when you draw the bolt back. But this is a real throwback to the old design, almost reminiscent of the black powder style, where it still retained this thing that locks into the receiver. And as you can see from the wear, there's a wear here. This does still lock up like the old black powder guns, with a removable bolt head that, you know, will come off, and 2 locking lugs. So the Nagant design retained a lot of the older black powder style things in their bolt. And now the 1891 Mauser design is the one piece, this is his first one piece bolt, 2 locking lugs. And as time went on, he used the solid rear end portion of the receiver. He added a 3rd lug. If you look on a KR98, there's a 3rd safety lug that would lock into the back side of the receiver. Mauser continuously redesigned and changed his guns over time. But the 88 Commission had this hybrid sort of, few things that are modern and few that were a throwback to the old black powder days. And those are the only 2 modifications to the bolt would be the face. Other than that, they're all the same in the guns I've found. Other than the carbine bolts will have a bent handle. That's about the only difference. I don't have a carbine, unfortunately, example to cover this. But that's it for the bolt.